The Eagles continue their offseason tear by adding one of the most physically gifted offensive linemen in the league, but are we overhyping Mekhi Becton a little bit too much after his disastrous 2023 season? Also, Jalyx Hunt responded to fans confused by the third-round pass rusher selection, and is the Eagles' newest 6'7" wide receiver a bust or just waiting to break out? I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. The dust has settled on the 2024 draft class, and despite the inevitable unhappy fan here or there, or a confused analyst about this pick or that pick, the overwhelming consensus on the Birds' weekend performance is extremely positive. And by positive, how about every major news outlet giving the Eagles some form of an A draft grade? Like seriously, look at this article from Eagles Wire listing every news outlet's grade: NFL, ESPN, Bleacher Report, CBS Sports, Fox Sports, PFF, The Ringer, it goes on and on. All of them give the Eagles some form of an A. And of course, I think they got an A, you think they got an A, but still, if you have to be a little bit picky here, the two really confusing draft picks for Philadelphia were 1, third-rounder Jalyx Hunt, and 2, 6'7" wide receiver Johnny Wilson. Hunt, for example, is extremely raw. And for a hidden gem coming from a small school, you'd expect more than 20 tackles, 13.5 sacks over the past 2 seasons against the kind of talent that Houston Christian plays on every given week. Now, don't get me wrong, he showed up in the Senior Bowl and proved exactly why he belonged in the National Football League, but if you want to get nitpicky, a third-round pick is supposed to be an impactful player. I mean, they aren't always perfect, but Isaac Seumalo, Sidney Brown, Tyler Steen, Milton Williams, and Jordan Hicks were all third-rounders in recent Eagle history who contributed pretty well during their Eagle careers. Now, for what it's worth, Hunt was asked about his expectations, and right away he did admit he's okay with being somewhat of a project and learning early versus trying to contribute as quickly as possible.
Yeah, definitely. I'm ready to do whatever I need to do for the team. So in the press conference last night, I was called the perfect developmental player, which is a huge honor to me. They see a lot of upside, and it's something I'm excited to grow into. So I'm definitely patient enough to put in the work and do what I need to do in order to reach my potential. But if there's any way that I can contribute right out of the gate, I'm willing to do it. You obviously have to produce. I had a really good season my first year, switching to the defensive end, edge position, hybrid position, and that kind of got the eyes on me. And then this past year, I played outside linebacker. But, when you really watch my film, you see things that you can't really coach. You see me flying to the ball. I'm a great teammate. You can understand that by coming through and talking to different coaches and players that I've played with. You see a guy who has a high motor, who's versatile, can play special teams. So I think all of those in culmination kind of got me the looks here. It got me to this position today.
Now, I'm not against the Hunt signing. I make it very, very clear. I just think being a third-round selection is a little bit different than being a fourth or a fifth rounder. If Philadelphia would take him in the 5th round, we would all be clamoring that, oh, this was an absolute steal in the 5th round. He has so much potential. But a third-rounder who sits for a little while is a little bit of a not concerning thing for Philadelphia, but if you got to nitpick their draft a little bit, Hunt's probably the main one to zero in on. Still, though, Hunt fit the Eagles' draft class plan. I mean, the 5th best overall value on the consensus board, 2nd in RAS, 3rd in production. Basically, the Eagles went after elite athletes who produced at high levels and fell lower than expected, which seems like a sensible plan to Johnny Page and, I guess, myself. Now, by now, you know about my 50,000 subscriber challenge I issued, 2 days ago now, where if we hit 50,000 subs by my wedding, which is 4 days away this Friday, I'm going to give away an Eagles rookie jersey of your choice. Kanion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, whoever you want, to one of my subscribers, and we're only 400 subscribers away, so a couple days away, 100 subs a day. Hit that red subscribe button to go ahead and enter. Let's get to 50K before my wedding. Now, the other interesting prospect is FSU's 6'7" behemoth of a receiver, Johnny Wilson, who looks really good on paper, but technically never went over 1,000 yards receiving at FSU and only scored 8 touchdowns in 4 seasons of college football. I saw a lot of comments comparing him to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside just basically due to his size, but I don't think that's necessarily fair. I do get the comparison, though. I'm more curious about how he pans out, especially during training camp. The Eagles could definitely use a huge body target with red zone touches and red zone opportunities, but if he can actually be one of those rare later round receiver hits for Philadelphia, which they haven't had recently, I'm definitely all in. You just wonder where he fits on this roster, which already has a really big, great outside receiver in A.J. Brown, and really was trying to focus in on speed, hence the Texas A&M selection. John Ross being invited to the Eagles rookie minicamp, whether that pans out or not. A big physical target has got to produce during camp, and my eyes are going to be on him a lot over the next couple of months. Like Hunt, though, and the rest of the Birds, the newly released phone call of Howie Roseman calling Johnny Wilson whenever he got drafted is really must-see TV, regardless how you feel about him as a player.
Johnny.
Yes, sir.
This is Howie Roseman. Remember who I am?
Yes, sir, I do.
What do we do, you and I? What do we do, remember?
Yes, sir. We walked around the field. I remember.
We walked around the field. We did walk around the field. And we're going to get a chance to do that again. We're going to pick you right here. I know you've been waiting a long time. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
You're an Eagle. I'm going to put you on the phone with Coach Sirianni. Congratulations.
Okay.
Hey, Johnny.
Hey, Coach.
How you doing, man?
Good. I'm doing great.
Well, congrats. You're an Eagle. I can't wait to get working with you.
Yes, sir. Me too. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah. And, where are you watching the draft?
I'm watching the draft back home in LA right now. I'm with my family.
Well, shoot. Go enjoy them. We'll talk later today, but go enjoy them. You only get drafted one time. Enjoy it, and we'll see you here soon.
Now, speaking of projects, the Eagles signed former Jets 2020 first-round pick Mekhi Becton to a one-year deal yesterday worth up to $5.5 million. And according to Adam Schefter, Eagles Oline Coach Jeff Stoutland was a key proponent of signing the young offensive tackle because, of course, he was. Becton was highly touted coming out of college, where he dominated the NFL Combine with his massive 6'7", 364-pound frame, but injuries derailed 2 of his seasons, and despite playing all 16 games last year for the Jets, he caused the most penalties in the entire league at 12 and allowed 12.5 sacks of poor Zach Wilson. But for the price and technically the potential, it is a solid signing. I mean, listen, Philadelphia could use some tackle depth, and $5.5 million is not a lot of money, but I think there are a lot of Eagle fans claiming, oh, the Eagles are going to absolutely steal this guy and turn him into an all-pro right or left tackle. It's a little bit premature. Just because we have Jeff Stoutland doesn't guarantee that every offensive lineman that comes to Philadelphia is going to be a superstar. Becton is probably viewed as like a late-round pick this weekend for the Birds. Like, Howie didn't draft a tackle and instead went for securing depth at the guard position over the past couple of days, which is very understandable. But again, just because we have Stoutland University doesn't mean he can fix the 79th ranked tackle in the league last season according to PFF. Again, I'm not saying this is a bad signing. $5.5 million for a former first-rounder with huge upside is a great move. That's very cheap for a starting left or right tackle, and we needed depth at that spot anyway. But don't act like he's anything more than a camp project with a huge uphill battle to even really make this roster. I guess we can at least all come together and agree that this video of Mekhi Becton destroying Derek Barnett this past season is at least fun to watch and something to go ahead and hang our hats on. Still, though, it could be much worse. Like, you could be a Cowboy fan today trying to convince yourself that signing soon-to-be 29-year-old Zeke Elliott, which they just did, is a better idea than drafting some young rookie star running back over the course of the past NFL draft weekend. The Cowboys have been all in all offseason, and I'm just kind of confused on what their all-in means. Maybe all-in means just getting no real players and signing a bunch of weak veterans is all into them, but overall, there's a big momentum shift happening right now in the NFC East, not just towards Philadelphia. I also think that the Giants did a very good draft, and the Commanders did as well. Dallas could be looking at being a bottom feeder a lot sooner than I think a lot of us would have expected after their NFC East title this past season. Now, it is wedding week, as I keep saying. I probably keep saying it too much, but it's kind of exciting. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to try to do as many shows as I can leading up to my Friday wedding. We'll see about when and if they go ahead and come out. But rest assured that I'm going to be keeping an eye on all the Eagle stuff. Follow me on Twitter at @RealThomasMott as well to get my instant thoughts. I'm Thomas Mott. Happy Monday. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.